This conference will now be recorded.
Am I audible, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Raghav, hearing.
Hello. Okay. So just wait for one more minute just to see if anyone else is joining. Okay. Let's get started. So last session we discussed about inbound. We completed our inbound process, basic inbound. I mean, we spoke about the strategies. We spent a lot of time on the bulk strategy to understand how the configuration works. In bulk strategy, we have the bulk structure where based on the bin type and the HU type and the storage type, bin type and the HU type, we maintain how many stacks and how high we are going to maintain the structure. And then uh, we executed one put away into bulk strategy because we wanted our finished products to be part of bulk strategy. Now we will be picking those products from the bulk storage today. Then we also understood few more important things about the bulk storage and pallet storage. That handling unit is mandatory. There is a field called storage behavior in the storage type which decides it's a bulk storage or a pallet storage. And in these areas, we don't in these two special strategies we don't mix stock. We just have the same types of pallets in the bulk storage lane or in the pallet storage bin. Okay. And then I had given you an assignment to test the pallet storage strategy. We did maintain the configuration. The storage bins in pallet storage are splitted into several sections. And when you place the stock, these sections are created, and when you remove them, they are dynamically deleted. Okay, so in one type of one, basically it's a rack bin where you can store more than one pallet, and the number of pallets depends on the type of pallet. Just it can be at times we are just storing one pallet, or in that bin we may even store two pallets. Yeah, so it all depends on how you would like to, or which type of pallet you would like to store, and how you would like to store in the pallet storage. So before we start, any questions from anyone? Any doubts anybody would like to discuss?
Rohan, inventory is not increasing with respect to the plan. I'm getting one error.
At which point you're getting an error?
In 561 is a standard error. I believe it's some linkage to the warehouse.
Okay, can you? Okay, we'll look into it. You can keep your test data ready, and we'll have a look at the end.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. If no questions, then we will move to our unit 5, goods issue process. So we did speak. What are the topics we're going to cover in goods issue process? Let us directly jump into the outbound processing. Okay. So like we understood, in inbound, there are two Um, there are two basic steps. Okay, good receipt and put away. When it comes to outbound, see, before we go into outbound, just would like to uh, re reconfirm you the points that important points we discussed on the inbound. So inbound, two mandatory steps: good receipt, put away. Others are optional. These basic process we understand, these two mandatory steps, and we'll add several other intermediate steps in our complex processing. Same way in outbound, picking and goods issue. Pick the material, take it to staging area, and then you goods issue. So in inbound, you do the good receipt, put it into a bin. Put away is a warehousing, warehouse movement step. Good receipt is an inventory posting step. Same way, taking from the bin to the staging area, it's a warehouse internal movement step. And goods issue is the inventory step where you declare that the inventory has left your warehouse. So it's exactly the opposite, and these are the two important steps. Like we had put away, we are going to do picking now, and like we did good receipt, we are going to see how goods issues can be done. Okay, so these are the two important scenarios we'll be steps related to outbound we're going to cover. Okay, so and then apart from these two mandatory steps, we can also have loading, uh, labeling, packing is very common in terms of outbound. Okay, so we'll slowly add these intermediate steps to our outbound process. Then when it comes to outbound, what are the different types of outbounds, right? So we have outbound to customer, we have stock transfer outbound. When you're doing an outbound to to your existing plant, we can have a vendor return, where the vendor has returned the parts and we have to put them into the bin. Okay, then we have goods issue. Outbound is anything going out. So goods issue to production is also something which is getting where the parts are getting consumed. It's also a type of outbound. We would see there are some useful transactions given by SAP in EWM where you can scrap um, directly stock from any bin without deliveries. You can work and post scrapping. Then you can post goods issue to cost centers, account assignment categories. So these are the different types of outbounds. So goods issue to cost center, account assignment category. You might be aware that these are the these are the consumption postings in MyGo. Other goods issue we have learned in inventory management, or we are aware these kind of postings can happen. So how do we do those kind of outbounds in EWM? It's what we will see in our outbound processing. Then scrapping, very important, like um, eh, the parts gets damaged, quality rejects certain parts, and there are several other reasons. We may scrap the parts, like uh, there is a lot of production scrap. So so we have to understand what are the steps. What are the steps in the outbound processing and how to execute them in system. Mm, okay. Now when we learn outbound processing, there are two documents during the processing. Okay, so I'm not sure if you might have paid attention when we created inbound in ERP, it created a inbound delivery in EWM. Okay, there was just one document, and you might have seen there was a document category which I was showing you. I'll again show you once we go ahead with the mapping in logics and all. There is a document category, document type. So basically, it's one document which gets created. I'm sure we discussed it, but yeah, we'll recollect it. So there is one document which gets created in the EWM side, which is inbound. Now, when it comes to outbound, there are two documents which are created. One is outbound delivery order and outbound delivery. So when the outbound delivery is created, we create an outbound delivery order in EWM. I mean, we don't create it, automatically system creates when the delivery is distributed. Okay, so please keep in mind, inbound delivery you create an ERP, it creates an inbound delivery in EWM, but when you create an outbound delivery, it creates an outbound delivery order. Okay, and using that outbound delivery order, we do the picking. Okay, so this outbound delivery order is used for picking. We will initiate picking task based for that outbound delivery order. Okay, and then we will post goods issue in the outbound delivery order. Okay, now we create warehouse tasks for that outbound delivery order. So we pick the item, and then when it comes to posting goods issues, why uh, when it comes to posting goods issues, why we need another document. So this document is required for partial goods issue. This document always gets created, but the main purpose of creating another document by SAP was you can do a partial goods issues. Okay, so I will show you in system. So what happens is we have a delivery. Okay, let me explain you so that when you see it in system, it will be more clear. So we have, let's say, outbound delivery in ECC or ERP. Is, let's say, it starts with 81000021. Okay, and this is ERP. This is EWM. Same delivery gets replicated here as outbound delivery order. Okay. Now, our aim is to understand the difference between outbound delivery order and outbound delivery. Okay, so let's say we have two products here in this delivery. Okay, and let's say they both come over here. Okay. Now, I complete picking for this because this material is available, and I am not able to pick this because the stock is not available. Okay, now the you might be thinking how to handle. You should probably, or a warehouse user would super user would come and ask you, okay, this is partially picked, I want to goods issue this. The material will take some time. So but if you have noticed, this delivery, ERP outbound delivery, the goods issue is at header level. So the goods issue is at header level. So this is a partial goods issue. Item level, we are not going to goods issue item level. So let's say the quantity of the products was 10. Okay. So what we do is, but this is a valid business scenario. So how do we handle this? So, but it's a valid business scenario. The customer would want it, and we also agree. We have to do partial goods issues. So how to handle this? Because EWM we can do partial goods issues, but ERP the document, this kind of structure, outbound delivery has been created since the earlier since 1982 SAP has created outbound delivery. So many customers are using it, and PGI is at header level. The whole document is like a header level goods issue. So how do we manage this? So what SAP has done, if you remember, I explained you something about delivery split. Okay, So now here splitting happens. So what we do is for this delivery, okay, the same delivery I would create a outbound delivery. This was outbound delivery order. Now I'm going to create an outbound delivery, and outbound delivery will be starting with a different number. Okay, and then I will goods issue this. Then this delivery will get replicated to ECC, and 10 piece will be posted. Yeah, PGI will be posted. Okay, so now what happens is the next material is available now. So what happens, at this stage when you do a splitting, okay, system creates an outbound delivery and it goes and updates tenure. What happens? New delivery gets created. But what happens to the old one? So in this old delivery, okay, quantity of m-1 becomes 0 because what we have done splitted the delivery. We have taken out the 10 pieces from 21 and moved it to a new delivery which came from EWM, and PJ is posted there. Okay. So here what has happened, splitted. We have splitted this delivery into two deliveries. For the same EWM delivery, we have created one outbound delivery and we have splitted. Now when the second material, now let's say, second material is picked after 2 days. Okay, I'll create another delivery for that remaining m-02 and I will post and PGI it. Okay, and what will happen now? A new delivery will get created again, and the PGI will be posted. So what happened to the main? See, this concept splitting is not new. It's not new in EWM. We have been doing splitting in logistic execution SAP since early days. Yeah. So EWM is just using that functionality. So EWM does partially issues. First it goods issued this, then it goods issued this. So there were two same delivery was splitted into two. Okay, so this is the main purpose of outbound delivery. So outbound delivery order, we do picking, but if we have to do partial goods issues, we do a we do splitting of deliveries and we split the main delivery here. We make it, basically we take the item, move it to another delivery, change the quantity to 0. Yet we don't do it manually, automatically it happens. Same way, we for the other item also I remove the quantity and made it 0 here and a new delivery got created. So these deliveries have new number ranges. Yeah, because they are created from EWM. Okay, these are also outbound delivery, but they have a new number range. So this is the main purpose, of using outbound delivery when we when we use splitting. But let's say if there is no split, we- what happens if there is no splitting at all? I mean, we have ERP delivery 10 pieces. We picked both the items, and when we pick both items, why we need to split? We have picked both the items together. Okay, I will basically Okay, PGI them, and here also the outbound delivery will not get splitted. This is the normal scenario, will not get splitted. The same delivery will be posted with 10 pieces, and this is the outbound delivery will be created in the same name, and the same delivery posted with PGI of 10 piece. So this is, if I say this is the full goods issue scenario, okay, and this is kind of a partial goods issue. So the point to note here is, in case of partial goods issue, we use splitting, we make use of splitting. And you may not, basically this document exists, outbound delivery document will exist, but will not, it will always be same as outbound delivery order. Only when there is a scenario of partial goods issue, for example, some pallets are not available. See, partial issue is very common in warehousing, right? So we may end up, we may end up having all the materials, but let's say the truck is full. You want to goods issue, 10 pieces today, because only 10 pieces could be accommodated. The remaining 10 you would like to goods issue the next day. Okay, so we do a next goods issue for today. The remaining quantity we will do goods issue the next day. Okay, so outbound delivery order, outbound delivery, and in case of outbound delivery order, the outbound delivery number, they are same. In case of full goods issue, their same number is generated, but you may split them. Partial goods issue, you may generate new numbers and split them. Here also they will get splitted. See, deliveries always are in sync. The delivery number in ERP will be equal to the delivery number in EWM, and the quantities will also be in sync. So I did create an outbound delivery of 10 piece, so outbound delivery is created for 10 piece in ECC. So they always synchronize between ERP and EWM. Okay. So are we clear on this concept? The requirement of a new document. Why we need a new document? The main reason is PGI is at header level. We cannot do item level PGIs. So we are splitting the deliveries here. That's why when we were initially setting up the configuration for our warehouse, I told you please activate split. Without split, EWM will not work. That is a mandatory config. This is the reason, because the main process, outbound process, splitting is a common scenario in case of outbound processing. Okay, are we clear with this? Shall we look into the system? Any questions?
Yeah, it's clear, Ratan.
Okay, good, good. So let's see this behavior of splitting and outbound delivery orders. Let's see how they work. Okay. See, when we understand outbound, we will also understand few more scenarios for outbound processing. Like we need to understand how picking is done, PGI is done. Those are the main steps how to execute in system. We should also understand in terms of delivery processing. So there can be other scenarios also, right? So when you do outbound, you should also be aware as EWM consultants. I mean, you have to guide business. They will ask you, and as part of knowing the entire business process execution, you should also know how to reverse the goods issue. Yeah, we understood these reversal steps for inbound, right? How to do a vendor return, how to do a good receipt reversal, how to cancel the delivery. Okay, so the same way we are also going to understand here the exception scenarios, how to reverse PGI, because if somebody does a wrong goods issue, how to reverse that, how to cancel the picking if somebody has done picking, how to do the cancel picking. Okay, and we should also be able to understand how to change the quantity of a delivery, or we should also be able to understand how to cancel the delivery, yeah, or delete the delivery. So what happens if delivery is created by mistake? How do we you know um, how do we execute the reversal? So we should be able to understand those steps also. Okay, so we'll see how during delivery execution how we can handle these kind of scenarios. Yeah. So if somebody created delivery by mistake, they have to delete it. Somebody picked it, the material trailer didn't turn up. The customer cancel the order. How to cancel the picking? Change the quantity. You have a you have a delivery of 10 pieces. You have delivery of 10 pieces, but you know, uh, but you could only have 8 pieces, and you spoke to your customer. They said, okay, just send us 8 for now. We are okay with 8. So you have to change the quantity to 8 and do the goods issue. How do you execute these steps in the system? We'll see. These are basic delivery execution steps you should be aware of. Okay, so we'll kind of execute a delivery and try to understand these steps. So this will be our first outbound, okay, and we would create a or sale order for that. So let's start with creation of sale order. So the transaction to create sale order is VA01. Okay, so we may have to spend some time because this is first time we are creating a sale order. Let's see, we might come across some errors here and there. So we need to know our sales area, right? So okay, before that, we need to make sure our material is extended to a sales area. Okay, so what is our sales area, which is SO351000. Okay, let's extend this sales view first. I already extended to the plant, but still I'll maintain it. There's a mandatory field. I'll say normal group, and I will check this material. And we also need a customer master, right? For which we are going to use for our outbound delivery processing. Yeah. So let's pick some customer. Um, CUST. There are several customers, dummy customers. Okay. Okay. Let's use this EWM 17 cus 00 CU001. Yeah. I'll extend it to my sales area. We go here. We say so. Basically, what we need to do is we need to. Okay, let me go in display mode. These are the roles for customer. So company code is same. Let us just extend it to a sales area. Go here, change here. Oops, I should take CU01, my bad. Okay, and then I go here, sales and distribution. I'll enter SO35 1000. Okay, is there any mandatory field? If not, I'll just simply save it. I think let us put pricing determination procedure, so that we can get the pricing procedure. Okay, it's not there. We'll see, we might get some pricing errors. We'll handle them during the creation. So EWM 17 CU01, that's a customer. Okay, now let's try to create a sale order. EWM 17 and CU01. Okay, yeah, I was expecting this. So let's try to get the pricing procedure config done. 351000A. Let's maintain this. I think this is the one. Let's use this one here. Let me use this one. Let's see if it works here. SO35 10 0. Come back. Come back here. Let's see if it works. Close it. Close this. And I think it should work. Yeah. So this is the customer PO number. Entering here. Payment terms. Let me see if I can enter this. Okay, we'll enter it later. So product is the 100. I'll raise it for a quantity of 10 pallets, 4 pieces per pallet. Okay, now it's time to enter the plant and the quantity. Let me say $100. And which plant? Let me get the plant details also here. The plant is PL35. Okay, looks okay. Let me still incomplete. Let me maintain some more data which is incomplete. I think it may ask me the payment terms and all. So in core terms, 6 works. Just some city from where we are going to collect it. Payment terms. Let me enter some payment term here. Okay. Then the next thing it's asking us is a bit of a problem, because we expect a shipping point to be determined, but shipping point is not coming automatically. That's what we need to have a look at. So shipping point. We have our own shipping point, isn't it? Let's look into the config so that next time we don't need to enter this information. See, we have mapped our shipping point. So it's very important we get our shipping point determined. So we'll say PL 35. 35. Oh, sorry. It's H35. Yeah. Entry already exists. So what is the issue? So if the loading group is not maintained in the product master, what is the shipping condition? Let's see what is the shipping condition in the customer master. Shipping condition is blank. Okay. Loading group is also blank. I'm not sure why it's not taking then. Loading group is blank. Let's see. Selection by content. By plant. Come on, search PL35. Choose. SS35 is here. What could be the reason? Let us see here if you're getting any error in assigning SS35 in the delivery. It should have determined here. Not sure. Okay. So shipping condition is 01. But why shipping condition is 01? It comes from the customer master. We just saw the customer master. It was not maintained. We'll have a look again. So for this combination, it's not maintained. I'll maintain it. That would create a sale order. Okay, this is our first sale order. Display it here. Okay, now let us quickly check why the shipping condition we saw it was blank. Somehow it took 01. Shipping condition is blank. The customer is EWM 17-CU01. Yep. Not sure from where it is taking the shipping condition. Let us park this. I'll check it with my sales guy. From where it is taking. It shouldn't have taken 01. So yeah, we will check that. So overall, we got our first sale order created. Now it's time to start picking for this order. So for picking, like we create an inbound delivery for the inbound, we'll create an outbound delivery for outbound. Okay, so the transaction is VL01N. Oops, let me get my battery. Okay. The shipping point is SH35. You can see so many places shipping point is coming. It's very important, yeah. Oh god, it's blocked, yeah. For delivery, remove. I need to remove the block. That's a bit of a problem. Sale order, transaction. Slash OVKM3. Okay. Please check the invoice. Why it is not coming up? Say error block for delivery. Check prepayment. Let us see what is this error. I think we should be checking this delivery block. I don't know how it got set. Remove that indicator now. Let's try again. Okay, now it's working. I think somehow that wrong selection was made. Okay, so now that's 40. I don't want to create 40. I want to just create delivery for one pallet again so that I can reuse this sale order. So picking is you need to enter from which store location we have to pick the parts. I'll say 4,000 for this material. Okay, so that's the first outbound for customer order from 4,000, and that's our outbound delivery, our first outbound delivery. So now let us see if the delivery has come to EWM. Okay, so here we have this delivery. Okay, if we go here, create the task. Okay, so in this delivery you have header status like just give me 1 minute. So this is the header, this is the item, and for this item we have to do the picking. Same like this delivery looks very similar to the inbound delivery. You have several tabs: handling unit, quantity, partner, location, status information, all those information is there. This is for the whole header delivery information. For each item the same information is available here, like document flow and everything. So now we only thing you would see here, there is another tab here, outbound delivery. This is the outbound delivery order, maintain outbound delivery order. And when you go to outbound delivery, it is not yet created because system doesn't know how we are going to goods issue that. Okay, this is our first scenario that we are executing, which is the full palette scenario. Okay. This scenario we're executing full goods issue scenario. Full goods issue scenario. Okay. But here we have taken just one material for our testing. Okay, since we have just one finished product. So let's pick the entire 4 pieces and do the goods issue. Okay. So now, like we were doing initially for our inbound, we were going here, follow an action and creating the warehouse task manually. Same way, we are going to come here and create the warehouse task manually. We go to default tab. Okay. And here you can see there is a process type Y214. Okay. And you can see when we were picking, okay, when we were doing inbound, if you remember, um, we created a GR zone bin here, right? So we good receipt here, we put away here. Same way, now we are picking from here and we are taking here. So here we'll have multiple bins in the staging area in our final solution. But for now, we'll take from here and bring it here. We'll have to create a bin called GI zone, and then we will goods issue from here. Okay. So we take from here to here, and then we goods issue. So we have to create this bin GI zone, isn't it? And we have to also create our own process type. There's no problem in using this standard SAP, but for the future delivery, let's create our own process type and determine it. So we'll do that, but for now, let us create a bin. Okay, the GI zone bin, which we haven't created yet. Okay, so the GI zone is created in 9020. Save it. And then as soon as we create bins, we know now in EWM we have to run the sorting transaction. So we'll do it now quickly. Okay. So basically here all the time I have to give which bin I have to take it to. That's not something which I want. So what I will do is for the new process type I'll give a default bin that always take it to GI zone. Okay. So let us create a process type Y214. Not for this delivery but for next delivery it will help us. Come here, cross process setting, warehouse tasks, define process type. What we do is WH35 and we have Y214. We copy that and we create our own. Generally I like to create it in 2010. Okay, and then I would like to say always for this we take it to 9020. Always the destination is 9020 GI zone. Okay, I will save it. So just creation of process type is not enough. We also have to determine the process type, right? So if you remember, we saw this in inbound. What is the document type for a delivery? It is OUTB. Okay, PDO OUTB. So this is determined based on document type. So as of now, you can see for OUTB, it just standard system is send Y214. I will replace that with 2010 our process type. Save it. Okay. Now we'll check in next delivery whether 2010 is coming or not. Okay, or if you want, we can manually also try changing it to 2010 here. It's not 2010, it's 2020, it's 2010. Not enough for document category UTV. I think since it's already created, it will not allow me to change. We'll look into it in our next delivery, okay? Let me create a task here. Give the bill manually for now. So again, I have to give the bin from where I'm picking. So I'm going to put 8004. This is the bin, if you remember, where we placed our finished goods in our previous session. So I'm going to open that. Okay, so the stock is in this bin. Okay, these two bin. So since we have not kept our strategies, I'm giving the storage type. Let's see if system is determining the bin, but our aim is to make sure the system automatically determines from where to pick the stock. We don't have to give both this information. Okay, so we'll do that in our next config, which is the strategies. Okay, so I've created now. Let's see, a warehouse order is created. So we can confirm orders on RF, we can confirm orders on desktop. So now this order is created. If you, this is to take the stock from 8004 115.3. This is the bin. It is telling me to pick the stock from, and it is telling me to take it to GA zone. Okay, fair enough. With this task can be confirmed on RF, monitor, desktop. We will confirm plus save, and then the picking will be completed. Okay, so now we have to again the next. So this is the first time we are executing our outbound. So I would use this desktop to confirm my picking, or this transaction to confirm my picking. But mostly the users are going to use RF. And I hope you remember from our unit 3 that for you confirming on RF, the queue should be maintained. The queue should be maintained, right? So the queue has to be maintained. So here the queue is blank. So let us maintain the configure the queue so that the next order when we create for our picking, we get the queues automatically determined. Okay, we don't have to enter it. So let's go and do the config as well. For queue determination, we do that in resource management. Queue, I will first define a queue. Let's say I create a queue named as outbound. Send. Okay, now here I'm going to say that WH35 we have already maintained queue determination for our inbound. So here I'm going to say is Oh, did we miss this? 800429. Okay, we had this queue set up, but I think destination is wrong here. Okay, okay. I think this combination was not maintained. So 80, it goes to 9020, and it goes to outbound bulk queue or outbound queue that we created. So this combination was missing. Let me see. Okay. So next time, our queues will come up in the order, and we can then confirm it on the scanner. We'll do several sale orders today. Okay, several outbound deliveries for the sale order today. So let me now confirm in foreground. So now when I'm going to confirm it, I have to tell which palette I have to pick. Okay, so when I say confirm, I say confirm plus save. It is telling me, it's going to tell me, hey, enter a palette. Okay, so I'll go here. I will have to select the palette. There is just one palette over there. Okay. So when the user goes, he's going to scan the palette which he's going to pick. And I'll say confirm plus save. Now the palette is taken to the GI area. Okay. So we pick the material, we took it to GI area. You can check in your monitor now. The stock would have gone down. Yeah, bin is empty now. So just remember, in bulk storage, since the pallets are kept one behind the other, one above the other, the users have to tell system which pallet they're picking. System will not automatically determine, because just imagine there are so many pallets, 24 pallets here. They are stacked one behind the other, one above the other. If system tells you to pick a particular pallet, that pallet may be at the end of your block. We don't have that information, right? So there are chances that user may have to remove 23 pallets to remove the last one. So we don't want that kind of a issue. So what we will do is, we will in the standard SAP, standard SAP also does that. We don't have to particularly configure anything. Whenever we pick from bulk, system will not give you the handling unit, which handling unit you have to pick. System will always tell you to tell which handling unit you are picking. That is that is how the bulk works. Okay. So now, all right. So now at this point, I have picked my material, but yeah, I would like to show you it's in the GI area. The palette that I picked, it's in the goods issue area now. So staging areas, just remember one thing: we do goods receipt and goods issues in the staging area. Stock gets added, stock gets removed from the staging area. Okay. Quantity is 4, stock type is 41. Yeah. So we come back to our delivery. See, still that outbound delivery is not created. Okay. So this is only for goods issue purpose, this document. So the moment I do goods issue, outbound delivery will be created. Okay. So now when I did a goods issue here, you saw system gave a message that outbound delivery has been created. So if you go here, you can see a document has been created. So this gets created only for goods issue purpose. Okay, this time it's a full goods issue. So there is no splitting on the ERP side, and we will see the delivery here. Yeah. See, goods issue has been posted, same delivery, but maybe in a partial case, we'll see a new number getting generated. Okay, that we'll see in the next scenario. And you can see a material document has been posted with movement type 601, and you can see the material document here. 61. So this is how a basic outbound delivery is posted. Yeah, goods issue is posted for a basic outbound delivery. So we pick the material, took it to staging area. We did, while we are testing this, we did two things. We maintained the process type configuration, we maintained the queue configuration, and now we'll run the same scenario with, let's say, a partial goods issue scenario, and we'll do it via scanning. We do picking via scanning. We also will ensure, using a scanners, we'll also ensure that the right process type and queues are coming up. Okay. So since this is our first delivery, we have to do a lot of setup. But yeah, I mean, as we go forward, we will have everything done, and we can proceed with other functionalities, and we don't need to worry about these basic setups. Okay. So clear so far regarding the delivery processing? Any questions, guys? Okay, if no questions, then let's proceed. I will now create another one, another delivery for the same sale order. So, for partial goods issue, I told you, I'll be using two materials. For now, what I will do is, since I have to extend a material, and we have to do a lot of settings. So we have to bring the stock. It is too much of of a setting to be done. What I will do, just to simulate, you know, the partial goods issue. Let me say I want to pick two pallets. Okay, just there is a delivery to create two pallets, and what we will do is we will pick just one pallet. Let's say only one pallet was accommodated on the truck, and we'll do a partial goods issue of one pallet. Okay, so now let's see whether this delivery is created to EWM with the right process type. Our first check. It is created. Yes. No, it's not created. Let me check what's the issue. There might be a queue failure somewhere. No. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was looking at outbound delivery rather than outbound delivery order. Okay, so here we have our first delivery with the right correct process type. Let's have a look. Quantity is 8. See, GI zone is coming automatically here. The process type is 2010. Okay, so our configuration is working. We'll now try to go and create a task. Stock type is 41. Finished goods, we are, 41 is the stock type we are picking from 4000. And then now let's see whether the queue is coming up or not. See, again, the strategy we haven't set up. So system will not determine a bin. So we'll have to pick it from 8004, but at least we don't have to give the GI zone bin now. And then create our first order with the queue. Let's see if the queue is coming. No, the queue hasn't come yet. So what could be the reason? The reason could be that the bins may not be sorted. Let me see the bin is sorted or not. The bin 800 GI zone bin we have sorted. So the bin from where we are picking should have a activity area assigned. Let me see if it is assigned or not. Okay, that's the problem. I've created these bins, but I haven't sorted them. So you see, you will get so many issues. If you forget sorting of your bins. Let me run it at a warehouse level. Let me cancel the task, save it again, and come back again. Sorry, to give the source bin. Warehouse order is created. And is the queue coming up? Yes, it is. This is the queue. We were expecting it to come, so now we have it. So now we can go and confirm this order on the scanner. Okay, so it's time to use the scanning transaction, RF transaction, to do the picking. So we are kind of exploring different ways, yeah, how to execute. Typically in production, the users are going to use this RF transaction to do the picking. So you go to manual, or we can go to outbound picking, picking by warehouse order, and I'll give this order number here. Okay, so now we will go and pick. See, this is the first screen. We will understand what is this. Basically, it's a screen to create a pick handling unit where, if you are using a trolley and you want to create a trolley and pick the parts onto a trolley, you use this. You're not using this for now. I say next. So now system is telling me to pick 8 pieces. So I'll just go to the bin and I'll see which pallet is again physically I'll go there and I would say, okay, show me I'll pick a pallet which I can physically see, which is closer to me and actually physically on the bin, and I'll pick that pallet. Okay, so out of this 24, let's say this pallet is available for picking. So okay, first let me scan the bin. I go to the bin, scan the bin barcode, then I'll pick a pallet. I'll scan the barcode of the pallet. So you can see the quantity is 8, but each pallet is of 4 pieces, right? We have maintained a pallet quantity of 4 pieces, so I have to pick 2 pallets. So if on picking first pallet, you can see the quantity changed to 4. I'll pick the 4 pieces. Okay, I'll not give any destination HU. I'll enter. System is telling me to pick the next 4 pieces. Okay, so let's say I pick the other 4 also. I'm picking both, but the problem is my truck I can only accommodate one. Okay, so I'm picking, let's say, this pallet. I can see this pallet. I'll scan the pallet again. Okay, so we have picked 2 pallets here and we are taking them to the GI area. So first pallet, I'll go to the scan the GI area, scan the pallet to tell the system, yes, I have placed the pallet over there. Then I'm going to scan the next, again the GI area, and again the pallet to tell the system I have placed the second pallet as well. So now in our GI area, we have 2 pallets for this bin, for this outbound delivery. Yeah, these are the 2 pallets. And if you go to the right, you can see that these 2 pallets, they basically belong to this delivery. Okay. So now let's go back to a delivery. So we have confirmed the task. Yes, so picking would have been completed now. See, picking is completed, goods issue is not completed. Okay. So now I have to do a partial goods issue. So I go to the handling unit tab. I see 2 handling units here. Okay. So now I would, let's say, select one handling unit, do the goods issue for that one handling unit, or I would say I can directly do a goods issue which will create outbound delivery in the background, or I can say create an outbound delivery for one of the pallet. Come here, save it, and do the goods issue here. So I have goods issued just one pallet. Yeah. So there are 2 ways. Either you do goods issue directly for the pallet here, or what you do is you create an outbound delivery, go to outbound delivery, and you can do a goods issue in the outbound delivery. So we have done a partial goods issue. Now let us see what happened to this delivery with that partial goods issue. So this delivery had 8 pieces. Now the quantity has changed to 4 pieces, and the goods issue is not completed, and system would have created another delivery. What is the new delivery that has been created by splitting? You can see this is a new delivery that has been created, and it has been goods issued. So system did a partial goods issue from EWM. It splitted that 4 pieces out of the main delivery and posted a goods issue here. Okay. Now we'll do another split for the another HU. I will not create a delivery and do the goods issue. I'll directly do a goods issue from here. Okay. And the delivery is totally goods issued from EWM. Let's go back to the sale order again and look at the flow. You can see system has created another delivery and did a goods issue. And what happened to the main delivery? Main delivery quantity is made to 0. Yeah. So when you split it, you're basically taking that quantity out of the main delivery and creating a new delivery. So these deliveries are always in sync. So it created a EWM delivery, created a new outbound delivery in the ERP side. So this this delivery, initial delivery on EWM for goods issue purpose, we created 2 outbound deliveries. Okay. So these 2 outbound deliveries, the number here is 19. Just don't worry about it. It's a 19 series here. 1000901 series here, but it is 1306 here. That's because of this number ranges are maintained in the standard system. You can come here and see 1306 is 901, 1307 is 902. So what is the ERP document for this outbound delivery? You can come and check here in the reference tab. So this means this in ERP. So 1306 is in sync with 13090, 10000901. Okay. Did you guys understand the usage of outbound delivery now?
Yes, Rohan.
Good. So that was our first RF confirmation, and we also explored the usage of outbound delivery, a new document. Outbound requires an additional new document, and you can see for each of this delivery in the item level also you can see 1306, 1307. Two sub items have been created because they were partially issued. Okay. So now we have seen the basic process. Now let's do some exception process. We have to cancel the delivery, reject it, make it zero, everything, related to reversal and exception handling. Let us look into that. But before that, can we take a quick 5 minutes break?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Let's come back in around 1:05. It is 12:58 my side. We'll come back in 5 minutes. Yeah. Okay, shall we start?
Yes, Ram.
Okay. So it's time to explore the reversal process now. Okay. So let's take example of our previous delivery. So the delivery that we created first, we did a picking goods issue. Okay. And now let's say the customer canceled the order. We did a goods issue and then truck was about to leave and then we said, oh no, we don't need this material. They called us and they said, oh, we'll need it next week or something. But we basically would like to cancel everything. We should understand the reversal process. Okay. So the reversal is important because day-to-day operations there'll be a lot of reversals, and we may be asked to support in case the users are new or they didn't follow the process correctly, isn't it? So what we will do is, first thing is, what you need to understand in outbound reversal is the steps that happen in system. So we all know by now, in SAP, whenever you do something, and you have to reverse it, you have to follow the same steps in a reverse order. Okay. So if you remember, the first thing that we did was we created, you know, uh, we created a picking where WO, or we did picking. Okay. Then we did a goods issue. But between picking and goods issue, outbound delivery got created, right? So in handling unit, you remember I told you first create a outbound delivery and then do the goods issue in the outbound delivery, or you can directly do goods issue here. So we basically, before goods issue, technically in system, outbound delivery is created. Okay, this is the process steps. Then in case of reversal, it will be exactly the opposite. We will first reverse the goods issue, cancel the outbound delivery, or delete it. It got created, so opposite of created, delete. And then the third is cancel pick. And then maybe we will also reject the delivery or delete the delivery. Delete, whatever you call them, delete, reject, delivery. While we are deleting, rejecting, we'll also understand how to change the quantity of the delivery. Okay. So we have to now execute these reverse steps. So I'll do them, and while I'm doing them, make a note how I'm going to do it. Don't worry, all those steps are also listed in the document. Okay. So we go here. So we are at outbound delivery. First thing is to reverse the goods issue. There is option here. There is no drop down here to reverse the goods issue. For goods issue, everything related to goods issue, you have to go to this outbound delivery. Just keep that in mind. Okay. Everything related to picking, outbound delivery order. So in this outbound delivery, I'm going to reverse the goods issue. Simple. As I do the reversal, I will go and check whether the reversal has been posted in ERP or not. Oops. KVL03N. That was our first one. So my data is now A. Goods issue reversal has been posted, and the movement type will be 602. The reversal of the main movement type is +1, right? 602. Now it's time to do the second step. Yeah. So we have completed this. Done. Next is to delete the delivery. I'll just simply select this and say delete. Don't delete the outbound delivery order, please. Make sure you're deleting the outbound delivery only. Okay. Save it. Done. Okay. Now, if we go back here, this is our delivery. Now you would ask me, okay, now the next step is to cancel the picking. So the picking status is now completed. We have revised the goods issue. Now we need to cancel the picking. So how do we cancel the pick? Picking cancellation is done through a separate transaction. It is called as can pick. Okay. So we go here, we enter the document number, we execute, we go to the handling unit. We see basically what we need to do. This handling unit is now picked. Okay. And it's in the goods issue area. I'll say release stock and plus HU foreground. That means release the stock and then move it, tell me, and then let's move it back to the warehouse. Okay, so this movement is optional. You can, after goods issue, you can still keep it in the staging, in the outbound staging area. I would like to send it back to the warehouse, okay, so that I can pick it for another delivery. Okay, and I will say there's a movement type here I need to give. I'll say Y999. This is for internal warehouse movement. Okay, so now I moved it, a warehouse order is created and it's auto confirmed as well. So I did two things here. I canceled the pick and I also moved the stock back to the 8004 storage. It's important, otherwise, we are unnecessarily, occupying a staging area. So I canceled the picking. So let's look at the delivery. The status is not started. That means we reverse the cancellation as well, picking as well. We cancel the picking as well. Okay, and now it's time to delete this delivery or cancel it. Okay, so basically in EWM we don't cancel the delivery. We make the quantity 0. That's it. So you can make the quantity 0 here, or you can do it in VL02N. See, the quantity is 0 here. Both places it will update it 0. So 0 is as good as cancelling. So you here also, if I did it in VL02N, just to show you, you can also do it here, or you can do it here as well. There is something called as process codes with quantity adjustment. You can do O001 and see, let me say add 1. See, 1 quantity is added here. So you can use process codes and you can change the quantity here also, simple. And the moment you save it, it will update ERP. Both deliveries are always in sync. Please keep in mind, yeah. I'm not going to save it. So we understood the fourth exception, how to delete or cancel. EWM doesn't delete the delivery from database. We always change the quantity to 0, which is equivalent to a deletion or a rejection. Okay, done. Are we clear on the reversal steps?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Then just I'll leave it to you to go through the screenshots. Basically the same things are covered here. Here also, all the steps are given: how to change the quantity to 0, how to delete the delivery, how to cancel pick. Everything is mentioned over here. So by that we have now completed our outbound processing. Now it's time to go through strategies. Okay, so before I go to strategy, let me explain you one very good very good transaction. This is called as unplanned goods issue transaction or ad hoc goods issue transaction. Okay, so let's see that this is a very useful transaction for Outbound SAP has given, and we will see this transaction, yeah, how it works. So this transaction basically, let's go to the transaction itself. It's self-explanatory. So this transaction is to simplify some postings on EWM side. Now, what if you realize, this this EWM, it can be sometimes, complicated for very small transaction like scrapping. So for scrapping, why we need to, do a delivery, we need to pick, we need to goods issue. It's too many documents just for scrapping, right? Isn't it? Then one minute, huh? So for 1 minute, yeah. So for simple goods issues, why we need to do um, so many delivery creation? Like there is one very common transaction called as store location to store location transfer, right? 311 313 or 315. Why we need deliveries, and you see deliveries, you might have seen there is so much so much data in the delivery. For some of the common or basic goods issue, you don't need so much data to store, plus delivery like document with so many information is not required in some outbounds. Okay, so SAP gave us a simplified transaction where you can do a scrapping. For example, I want to do a scrapping. Okay, I'll just show you scrapping. You can do several other goods issues. You can move it to another store location. You can take a sampling stock. You can cancel a goods issue from here. You can post a physical inventory stock correction directly at a bin level from here. So you can do a lot of things here. In the latest 2020 version, SAP has also added here the option to post against cost center also. So you can do a goods issue to cost center also from here. Okay. So now here we have the warehouse, which is WH35. Let's say I want to scrap my product T-D100, one of the raw materials. Okay. I'll go here. I will see this stock is in so many places. Okay. I want to post goods issue. I'll say post partial quantity goods issue. There is 2720. Let's say I want to go issue 10. I want to scrap 10 pieces. And as of now, there are no reason for movement configured. So let me continue and okay, let's find out, let's create some reason for movement. Otherwise, it will not allow me to save. Hmm, okay. I'm pretty surprised why this reason for movements are not there for our warehouse. Mhm. So where do we configure them? Let me figure out. It has been a while. Should be an outbound somewhere, right? Since it's a goods issue. Outbound delivery. It's not a delivery. Hmm, Production is not there. Cancel picking is not. It's not part of cancel picking. Mm, Number range, work center, big denial, wave strategies. No. Mm, Should be cross process only. Let us see. Uh, should be password tasks. Reason for goods movement here. Yeah. Reason required. Something strange, yeah. We don't use this. Yeah, this one, I guess this is the one. WH35 scrapping CRP. Yeah, let me create this reason for a moment. Come on. Don't create these groups and all. Mm, Let me maintain it, yeah, just for the sake of doing it. WH35. Let me group this. Let me see if it helps. Mhm. This is, I think, let me create a group first and create a reason core. Okay, let's see if it works. 10 piece. Come on, let me go out and come in again. Now it has posted the complete quantity. It looks like some bug in system. When I'm doing it like this, it is asking me for movement. Okay, and when I just clicked on post because issue did it without, refresh, it will go away. So for full goods issue, it is not asking, but for partial, it is asking. Let us try for another product. Let's try this some quantity for this product. Let me post goods issue. Oops. So full goods issue is done. Yeah. Let me do a partial one. Let me say one piece. And required handling units could not be found. Say for quantity, I didn't want that reason for movement error. Oops. Doesn't allow us to do a partial for a bulk storage. Okay, so I'll check that why it is asking a reason code and not taking any reason code. In case of bulk storage, need to add some more stock since I scrapped everything. So the main thing here to notice, goods issue is posted, and if you go to MB51, you will see the scrapping posting being done, which is (551) movement type, right? Sorry. So we did so many postings today, and you can see 551 has been posted as well. Yeah, so we did scrap a quantity of one pallet. And if we go back here, we enter our product D-D100 for which we were supposed to test. And we did today's date. Okay, so in the system, the date is 18th. System date is 18th yet. So you can see 551 was posted, and we did post entire, quantity of the product. Okay, so yeah, we need to check partially, if that reason for movement error is gone or not. We'll have to check that. But yeah, you can do a post goods issue, partial goods issue from here, and you can then check your material document. So in this case, there are no deliveries which are created, okay, and there is no picking required. You can directly scrap from a warehouse bin, and it will post your material document. So this transaction is not only for scrapping, as I told you, it is used for store. You can move the stock to a IM store location. You can say store location, give your IM store location code, and then it will post stock to that store location. Okay. Okay, I think from here it is taking the movement type now. Okay. So you can also do physical inventory correction. If you want to do a stock correction, you can use this. If your post is scrapping and you have to cancel that document, you enter this, and you can post cancellation of a material document also. Okay, and you can also do sampling as well. So this is a very useful transaction. So business would like to have some simplified transaction, because the existing transactions have too much of a delivery processing, and a lot of steps required from execution perspective may not be required for internal goods issue and internal movements to another store location, or for scrapping. So this transaction is used, and we can design processes related to this transaction. So one of the process that we designed for one of our customer was, they said, they told me, Rohan, we want to have a goods issue process. I told them, okay, we have a transaction, whatever you want, don't create delivery, use this, finish it off. They said, no, we need in a different way. Okay, so this transaction is very risky. If the user selects a wrong handling unit, or they do something, they enter partial instead of partial, they do full goods issue, all kind of issues can come. So we don't want to give access to this transaction to the users. So what they said, what I want, what process we want is, so we brainstormed, and we came up with a new process where we said, okay, whatever you want to goods issue, create a bin called scrap zone. So whatever you want to scrap, move the stock to the scrap zone bin, and we created a badge job for this scrap zone. At the end of the day, whatever the stock was there in the scrap zone was goods issued. But that way, if they have wrongly put some stock there, or they have chance for correction, or the goods issue access is not given to the users, it is automatically done in the background for that particular bin. Okay, so there are less chances of mistakes. So you can also design process related to this, move stock there, and then you can post goods issues. Okay, so are we clear on this transaction, this unplanned goods issue transaction for outbound? Any question from anyone before we go ahead?
No, Rohan, I think we got. I'm good.
Okay, perfect. So now it's time to start strategies. Strategy, we spoke so much about strategy in inbound, but how about strategies in outbound? Okay, may not be able to complete it, but let's start, and tomorrow we'll carry forward. Okay, so I think we need to talk about strategies, and then maybe next week we'll start wave management. Okay, and exception handling. That's fine. So here, in terms of strategies, we spoke about different strategies in the um, inbound process, like pallet strategy, bulk strategy, addition to stock, empty bin, near fixed bin. So similarly in outbound we have several strategies. Okay, but before we went into those actual strategies, which were bin determination strategy, okay, which appropriate bin to determine for put away. Same way we are going to do a bin strategy to find an appropriate bin for picking. Okay, so there were four steps in which we were determining the bin. In the inbound, first we were doing the storage type check, storage section check, then we were doing the HU type check, and then finally we were doing the bin determination, right? And we said storage type and bin determination are mandatory, storage section check is optional. We also said the bin type check was optional. Okay, if you remember, these were the strategies. These were the four. I'll take you to that exact place. Yeah, these are the four search happen which happens in system, and these two were optional. Okay. Now in outbound, we don't have four determination possibility for them. We just have two. We don't have a section determination. We don't need a bin type determination because it's picking. We need to just pick. We don't want to pick a preferred palette, or we don't want to pick from a preferred section. We have to prefer, mostly the picking is determined based on the bin determination. That plays a very important role. Which palette or which bin we need to pick the stock from. So first we'll have to determine which storage type, and then which bin in that storage type. We have several strategies in outbound. Okay, so all strategies in outbound basically are bin determination strategies. They are straightforward, not as complex as inbound in terms of there are several in outbound. In inbound we have like say bulk strategy. We have four configuration for bulk strategy. We have three configuration for palette strategy, two configuration for fixed bin, and a master data. So comparatively outbound, the strategy is straightforward. 90% of the time, the strategy which is used is FIFO. FIFO means pick the older stock. That's it. Okay? And tomorrow, when we are talking about bin determination, I mean, which bin to pick the stock from, there will be a new concept which I'll be introducing, which is called a stock removal rule. Okay, so we'll talk about stock removal rule it will help us to configure most of the strategies in outbound. So storage type determination is same like how we determine a storage type. Let me first finish this and then I'll take you to the list of strategies. So storage type, if you go to the storage type determination, we go here, config. Okay, I just came out of config. Let me go in again. Goods issue process strategies. The first strategy for storage type search is very similar to the inbound strategy of storage type search. Okay, just we have a new thing called as stock removal rule, which we'll discuss tomorrow. It is not used in the storage type determination. So whenever I'm creating a task for outbound, I have to give a storage type and a bin. Right now we want to configure so that system determines which storage type, and system determines a bin, appropriate bin in the storage type from where to pick the stock. Okay, so when just imagine your product is placed at so many storage types and bins in the warehouse, which one to pick? System has to decide, and system will decide based on what settings you are going to do in the outbound strategies. Okay, so first thing is, it's in civil storage type. Which storage type we want the system to go and check the stock? So in this case, let's say, we want system to first go and check in 8004. That's the search sequence. And if there is no stock in 8004, then look for 8006. Okay. Let's say how we created a finished good picking strategy, put away strategy, like, sorry, inbound put away strategy, first place here, then here, something like that, right? Same way, we will give a sequence here. First place it here. If there is no, sorry, first pick from here. If there is no stock, then you pick from here. Okay. So again, like in um, like the uh, inbound put away strategy, we have a stock removal search sequence. Okay, and here we will say WH35 sequence is finish good FG pick. Yeah, finish goods picking, and in this we'll say, in this sequence we'll say, search sequence will say, first pick the stock from 8004 and then from 8006. Save. So this sequence, we want system to follow the sequence. Then once we create the sequence, we assign the sequence. So the assignment in inbound, we did it based on put away control indicator. Now in outbound, we'll create a stock removal indicator. FGPK. Yeah. And if I go to the product master now, for my finished product, T-F100, if you come to the warehouse view, we have maintained finished good put away control indicator. Now for removal, I'm going to maintain FGPK. Yeah. So product is one of the factor based on which the sequence will be determined. So here we determine the sequence. This is similar to inbound. Okay. So what we'll do here, we'll say warehouse is WH35. Okay, it's not a two-step picking. When we do picking, we can do picking in two-step. We say FGPK 2010 process type. So in that case, your picking should happen from FGPK sequence and based on FIFO. As of now, this is the removal rule. Just park it. We'll discuss tomorrow in detail about rule. Okay. So this is a strategy. Now the next time when I create my Where is 20? Yeah. Next time when I create my picking, it will determine the sequence. Okay, let me see if those indicators are maintained here. So here you can see system will first check on these three combination, then these two combination, then it will check removal indicator and process type. That's where system will find our config determination. Okay, so system will pick from 8004. Now in 8004 I have stock in 8 to 10 bins. Which bin system will pick? So that's what it will be the next strategy, which is bin determination, to determine which appropriate bin. The stock is in several bins. We have filtered all the storage type and told the system to look into 8004 first. Yes, we have stock in 8004. Now filter the bins and select one appropriate bin from where we'll pick the stock. That filtration will be done in the next setting, which is the bin determination. So first thing is, we directed the system to pick from 8004. Now there, we have stock in several bins. We say pick as per FIFO, first in first out. Pick the oldest stock. Okay. We may say there are several other strategies. I'll list them here one by one. LIFO, last in to pick the latest stock. There is something called a stringent FIFO. There is a fixed bin strategy. There is a SLED check. Pick the product for which the expiry date is coming nearby. Okay. SLED shelf life strategy for shelf life parts. Then we have partial quantity strategy. Partial quantity first. I'll explain you what is that. This is special strategy, and then we have small and large. Each of this strategy is, we have to understand what is the purpose of this strategy and how the system is going to, what additional settings we need to do. So most of the strategies will be configured at a stock removal rule level, and 90% of the time all the warehouses they pick the FIFO stock, the oldest stock. Okay, so now uh, basically, in this, all of them will use stock removal rule except fixed bin strategy. Fixed bin strategy is same as inbound. Okay, we need to assign a fixed bin to the product in mid transaction, and system will always pick from that fixed bin. Okay, so same like inbound in the configuration, whenever the storage type has a fixed bin indicator, we assign a fixed bin to the product here in binmat, and system will always pick from that fixed bin. See, picking from fixed bin again, whenever I say fixed bin, it's your grocery store picking. You always have a fixed bin to a product, you always pick from there. So when the production guys are going to pick this, there we are going to use this fixed bin strategy. They always go and pick from one bin. So they don't worry, the FIFO, LIFO, old stock, new stock, SLAD. No, it is a very fast moving product. We need to help pickers with identifying the appropriate location where to pick the parts. If we keep on changing their location, they will always have to pay attention. Here they go into a default mode. Yes. Oh, clutches, go and pick from here. Brakes, go and pick from here. Right? So this is pretty much no other config required. The others are based on stock removal, but in this case, this is purely based on same like inbound. So whenever a product has, let's say the strategy, if we stock removal strategy, we maintain pick from 8005, system will check, oh, 8005, it's a fixed bin storage. Okay, then it will come here and it will look for a bin here. Okay, so storage type search, if it is 8005 is in your sequence, it will go and check the bin and determine it. Okay, and how are the other strategies maintained? Most of them are maintained through the rule, which will require some detailed discussion. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Then, we spoke about, in the storage type determination, we spoke about the stock removal indicator and the product master process type. What are these other indicators? These are for hazardous material. These are the ratings for hazardous material. You can determine a different sequence based on stock type or special stock indicator, like if it's a consignment stock, project stock, um, or it's a RTP stock, sale order stock. So you can define different sequence based on the business scenario. So for example, if it's a or it's a quality stock, if it's a quality stock, always pick the stock from quality storage type. So I'll maintain here stock type as quality, like like Q3, and I'll give a sequence Q1001, which means go and pick from Q001 storage type. Okay, so here it can be based on your stock type. You can say if it's blocked, always pick from the block area. So you can give your sequence based on these indicators if you want a different sequence. Okay. Then we in inbound also we saw something called as quantity classification. We'll understand more about quantity classification, one of the strategy, which is small and large. So what happens in quantity classification? If it is a based on the quantity you're picking. Okay. So if it's a small quantity, you pick from one area. If it is large quantity, you want to pick from another area. So let's take an example. If a customer is asking me a pump of 4 piece, okay, so I'll pick from 8004. But if a customer is, there are customers which will ask, a pallet of four. They may ask in multiples of four. Give me give me 12 pumps. So you pick 3 pallets of four. But let's say there's a customer which will ask us, hey, give me 160 pumps. Okay, so for those customers, we may create a bigger pallet of 40 piece on a pallet. So now let's say it is 8004, it is 8006. We have pallet of 444 here. Okay, we might create bigger pallets of 40 here. If a customer is asking me audio quantity is, let's say 12, I'll pick from 8004, yeah, because it's in multiples of 4, yeah, small quantity is easy to pick from here. I'll pick 3 pallets from here. But if the audio quantity is 120 or 160, I would pick from 8006. So your search sequence is changing based on the quantity. That's why quantity is going to quantity classification. Based on the quantity, you will classify which strategy to, which search sequence to use. So here the sequence is 8004, but if the quantity is changing, my sequence is changing to 8006. So here basically, we call something as threshold quantity. That means anything below 40 you pick from 8004. If the customer's requirements are going off above 40, pick from 8006. Yeah, something like that. So we'll elaborate this in more detail tomorrow. And we'll see how this is a small and large quantity strategy which will use this quantity classification. Okay, so we'll see that tomorrow in more detail. Just wanted to give you an overview. We'll come back again to this example with more scenarios. But yeah, quantity classification is what we are going to cover tomorrow. In inbound also we have seen it, but yeah, we'll discuss more about it tomorrow along with stock removal rule. Okay. Okay. I think we'll take a stop. We'll take a pause here. We'll stop for today. I think this is a logical point to stop. We will continue our discussion related to outbound. So next, after the strategies tomorrow, we'll start wave management and uh, and yeah, and then slowly we'll start the production scenarios as well. Creating a production order and so on. Okay. So for now, we will just I'm open for questions. If you have any questions related to whatever we have covered or any of your testing, we can discuss them now. Okay. So any questions from anyone? Anybody would like to discuss anything?
Rowan, regarding the issues they talked about.
Yeah, you can. Can you tell me what were you trying to do? I mean, the data, please.
You mean 561 for month plan
How are you posting that?
in my book.
Mm-hmm. So what is your material?
Um, P-F100, same.
Okay. Quantity. Shall I take 4 for now?
Yes,
561. What is your plant?
it's the same as warehouse.
Sorry?
NG,
NG.
NG35.
Okay. Store location 4000.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay. Let me check this. I'll let you know tomorrow. Okay, I need to check some settings for your story warehouse if you have covered everything.
Okay.
Right. Any other questions from anyone? Okay. If no questions, then shall we end the session for today?
Yes, Rowan. Thank you.
Okay. Bye all. Thank you. Have a nice day.